Hello, my name is Dan Litvin. I'm one of the owners of SolarWerks Corporation, LLC, and we are here to discuss the maintenance of the work that we've done here in terms of solar thermal. It's heating domestic hot water. The system that we are having here is basically it's called a closed loop system. It's a pressurized glycol that goes all the way from the panels where the sun hits it and comes down here and gets into this solar heat exchanger. The heat exchanger, the main function of the heat exchanger is to take the heat from the glycol, from the solar, and transfer it into the hot water, into the normal water that comes in. And then it puts it into this tank, and from this tank it goes to the boiler. If it's not enough hot water, the boiler will fire up and add up to the temperature. Normally, temperature is set to about 120, 130 degrees. If we don't get enough from the sun, we're going to continue and get it from the boiler. I want to actually start with, before I go into all the explanation, I want to start for the maintenance people by saying that the only thing that the maintenance people are going to need to do, there's not much for them to do except for watch the pressure. There is a pressure gauge, which we're going to show it. It's right here. And the upper blue portion of it shows the PSI. And we set it up to be about 45 PSI. If it drops below 40, there is some kind of a loss of liquid. And that's a sign for a problem. So this is really the only thing that maintenance has to watch for. There's nothing more. If they're going to see any kind of drops liquid on the bottom, then there is somewhat leak inside here, and that's obvious, and that is a sign to call us as well. The system does not require any maintenance. It's supposed to last for a long time. The only thing that are replaceable here and have a life are the pumps. There are two pumps that's involved here. There is a pump for the glycol right here, and there's the green one, which is the pump for the domestic water. Pumps, usually life of a pump is about maybe 5 years, 6 years, and if after that time it's not working, it is a replaceable item. That's the only thing that really can go wrong here. Like we said, it's a closed loop system. It's pressurized glycol. The glycol, with the help of the pump that we've just shown, the red pump, is constantly circulating the glycol from the heat exchanger here all the way to the solar panels. And as long as there is sun, there will be plenty hot water here. Once this is come down here, the heat exchanger is now dealing also with the water. And it takes the heat from the glycol and transfer it through these panels, which are kind of like book panels. They're like pages put together, and hot water goes through it, glycol goes through it. They don't touch each other, but they exchange the heat. And the heat comes from here, from this heat exchanger, and come into this tank. Once it gets into this tank continuously feed the water that comes into the tank into the boiler. If it's not enough temperature, this is the boiler here. If it's not enough temperature, the boiler knows it has its own thermostat, and it knows that it needs to fire up, and it'll add up to whatever it is. But no matter what, you're getting water that will be hotter than what you get directly from the city. And the reason for it, that even in a day like today, which is not very sunny, what really hits the panels and what hits the water and the glycol is not whether you have direct sun. It is the rays that comes, and they go through clouds and everything. This is what heats the panel. So you'll always get, if you may not get as much as in a sunny day, you're going to get something that'll bring this temperature here to at least halfway. I mean, we can look at today and see that even though it's not a sunny day and it's all cloudy, we have 90 degrees. And this is a thermometer that shows us the water, the glycol. So this glycol is actually helping to heat this tank here. And therefore, the furnace always get water that will be more than the 40 degrees or 45 degrees that you're going to get from the city. There's one more item here that we haven't talked about, and this is the control unit. This right here is the control unit. We have 3 buttons here. We telling the maintenance people not to play with it too much. They can do one of 2 things. There is either you press one of these 2 buttons and you can get different information. You can get the temperature, which is at the tank, like I've done right now. It shows TST here, and the temperature shows 59.7. And you can go back and you can get the collectors. And it shows that in the collector itself, the temperature right now is 57.9. The control unit is designed that every time that there is a difference of 12 degrees between the solar panels and this tank, it activates all of the 2 pumps that we have shown before, and that circulates things and takes the heat from there and brings it into this tank. We have left on each one. We have like a booklet here that describes the control unit, which is right here. It should really be here, but we discourage anyone to play with control unit because the control unit is set right now to do what it does, and it will continue and do it for many years. The only other point, glycol has to be replaced once every 9 years. It should be on a yearly basis, should be checked. Somebody should come here. You should have a contract, hopefully with us, that will come once a year and check the systems and make sure that everything is working properly. Thank you. What you're seeing here, you're seeing 3 panels. We call a flat plate. They basically, this is what collects the sun, and the life of this panel should really outlast quite a few of us. It should be at least 40 years without any problems, unless somebody damages it on purpose. The way that it works, inside this, behind this glass here, there's a reflective back. There's pipes, copper pipes that's going up and down here, and they collect the rays, the radioactive rays from the sun, and they're heating up the water that comes here. As you can see, it sits on a roof. It has its own support system, which we're going to go from this side maybe. This is the way it's being supported. We supported these panels in not only to the roof, but we also support them in the middle here, in order to prevent any kind of strong wind for blowing these panels. These are pretty large panels. They are 4x10, and they need to be protected pretty well. What you see right here, this is where the hot water comes through. You have here a valve that's supposed to take the air out of the glycol. The hot water is coming down. There's a sensor here which really transmits all the information back into the control unit and tells it the temperature. Everything is insulated, and it goes back into the building down to the control unit. And this is how it comes here to the control unit. It goes right through the roof with a special arrangement and flashing. This is Paul and I'm Dan. We are from SolarwerksLLC. Our phone number is 773-354-6363. And if there are any questions or any problems, you can call us directly and we will be happy to come and take a look at whatever.